like to call the Tuesday, September 19th, 2023 Board of Public Works and Safety meeting to order. Sarah, lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of minutes.
So moved.
Second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Public comment.
I don't have anything here yet.
Clerk Treasurer, claims approval.
We have civil city payroll in the amount of $493,572.08.
Make a motion to approve payroll.
Second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Civil city claims in the amount of $663,098.66.
Make a motion to approve.
Second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
I was going to try to shorten that, but there was no way, sorry. Water claims in the amount of $137,624.61.
Make a motion to approve water claims.
Second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Sewage claims in the amount of $213,769.21.
Make a motion to approve sewage.
Second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Brief, to the point, department head reports. Beth West, Transport.
Morning. I haven't given any numbers lately, so I thought I'd let you know. As of last night, we've had over 2,000 riders just for the month of September. That brings our total to date over 30,000 riders for the year. That's 3,000 more than what we had in 2002. We are in the process of having our ADA audit. Paperwork has been submitted to NERC, and we will have our on-site audit, which will be my first on-site audit. They've been virtual up until this year. So we're going to have an on-site audit in November.
Great. How long are they usually here for?
I don't know. They're telling me to plan an hour, so I'm planning
that's
on
not
an
bad.
hour. So yeah, they go through all of our paperwork to make sure that we're being compliant. So we'll see. So
I know you do great.
yeah.
Perfect.
So.
Mark Shriver, Parks.
Morning. Something really exciting. I've been in a couple years in discussions with the Department of Natural Resources. They are going to start paving the Stone Lake Boat Launch parking lot starting September 25th. They expect it to be about a 2-week process. So with that, the boat launch will be closed for that duration. So just let anybody know that want to get out on the lake to fish or boat, that the boat launch will be closed until that project's completed. So they anticipate 2 weeks. Also would want to mention, coming up in Soldiers Memorial Park on October 14th, we have the Bolt for the Heart 5K. Trying to make a big push there to get a great turnout. Anybody interested in running or walking in the 5K or 10K can go to boltfortheheart.com and get registered for that race. And we have the Big Loverboy concert with Carpool opening up this Friday night at the Civic. So still good seats available. If you want to sit on the floor, I'd encourage you to get your tickets in advance, but I would anticipate there being some tickets available at the door as well. So thank you.
Chief Snyder.
Nothing to report today, Your Honor.
Chief Breton.
Mine's not going to be brief because I'm going to call Caitlin Kalisic up here to speak about cops and bobbers.
Caitlin, welcome.
So our police department is putting on what's going to be annual. We've done it previously, but it's called Cops and Bobbers. For those of you who are familiar with the Juvenile Detention Alternative Initiative, this is something that they wrote a grant for that they've had for many years now. And this year I was like, let's do it. Let's change it a little bit. So this year what we're doing is we're doing a fishing tournament with the City of LaPorte Police Department, the Sheriff's Department, and then Michigan City Police Department. We're all going to be competing. There's going to be there's 48 children signed up. They're divided. Some of them signed up to be on specific teams, and some of them just wanted to be a part of it. And so the 3 departments with the children that are allotted to their teams will compete. Whoever has the most fish wins. We'll probably have about 150 people attend this event, and then it's on September 24th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So, yeah.
Great. Are volunteers needed?
So we have some volunteers. We're always welcoming more volunteers. Next year, we're going to plan it just a little bit different, so we'll probably get that put out sooner. But we're welcoming volunteers up until the day of. So
We're assured that we're going to win.
I was gonna say, we're fishing until LaPorte has more fish, so might be out there a while. Thank you.
Just want to give a shout out to Craig and, he's been helping us with this, and then Mark is bringing us out tables, so it's a team effort. I think it's gonna be a great event. Pray for sunshine.
And I should have mentioned the core of the reason why we're doing this is because we want to be able to help kids on every spectrum. So we're talking high-risk kids who may already be involved with the juvenile justice system, all the way down to kids who may have no involvement at all but might be low risk, and then children who aren't necessarily at risk of becoming in contact with the juvenile justice system. So I meant to say that because that's the core of why we're doing this. And it's just a good way for our police officers in the county to have a better rapport with children and then give them a hobby. They get to take home a fishing pole and a tackle box that they get to keep,
that's cool.
and they can continue doing that. So, yeah.
Love that.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Jeff Batchelor, Streets and Code.
Yep, for the street department, we've been taking trees down, and then we're also about patching, and then for code, we're gonna be looking at chronic nuisance properties throughout the city.
Any new information on Tucker King's tree grant? Have we heard anything?
Yeah, he put in for $10 million, and we got approved for $1 million. So that's a great thing, $1 million over the next 5 years.
Did you say, Amanda, we got approved for that? That's fantastic.
What can that be used for then?
Yeah.
That's what we're waiting for the stipulations to come out, because we did it for $10 million, so there was a lot of different stipulations that we put in there. But most of it is payroll, equipment. So, I mean, there's a lot of options for us to do.
Perfect. Nick Otis, Legal.
I don't have anything specific other than last night at the city council approved a new contract between the city and entity that's going to provide childcare at what was the YMCA childcare facility on Monroe Street. This would have been on the agenda today for the Board of Works approval, but Jessica Romine is a YMCA board member and Mr. Kosher's not here, so it'll be before you at the next meeting, but it seemed to be well received last night, and hopefully a great transition from the long service that the Y offered.
Clerk Treasurer Parthone.
We finished up our audit, State Board of Accounts audit recently, and as exciting as an audit can be, we had an unmodified financial audit, which means that's a good thing. So I wish we could celebrate and have a big, jump for joy, but that's what they say. It's unmodified, which is great.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's a very big deal, and a lot of work goes into that, so well done.
Hopefully that's like excellent, so everybody in the public should know that means excellent, so good job, Court. Nick Minnick.
Nothing today, just the grant was a U.S. Forest Service Community Urban Forestry Grant, so it's pretty exciting.
And also letters that are going out to
I
Whispering Meadows is nothing more than advertisement by attorneys for the corridor.
Yeah, I can touch on that. We did receive kind of a report of some residents in the city receiving letters regarding the North-South Corridor project. At the top of the letter, it says basically advertising material. So there's an attorney reaching out to people who are in the general vicinity of the North-South Corridor, a very wide swath that has not actually been fully vetted or approved. So there's there's still a lot of process, there's still gonna be public hearings, there's still a lot more before anyone from the state, county, or city would have any conversations about right-of-way acquisition. We're very, very, very far from that process. Preemptively, attorney just kind of trying to drum up some business, and it's
I had a different term, but
it's causing some frustration with
Yeah.
with residents because that they're being told one thing and it's just not where the project is. So we're not at that point, and when we are, we'll make sure we are very respectful of people's personal property.
plus the Washington Street is an option as well that we're working on.
Yeah, that's a huge key project that we're starting interviews, and Craig can kind of touch on this, for our comprehensive plan, which includes updating a really good solid transportation model to assess the different projects that can, the corridor is not the silver bullet. It's very, very, very important, but there's other projects that we need to be doing too. We can't lose sight of what we need to do inside the city currently to build up our capacity. So we got to take a total infrastructure approach to this. So.
Well, I apologize about those attorneys.
It's not you, is it?
No. Nick, so the firm, because I saw the advertisement, and the firm's out of Indianapolis, would there have been something downstate, like, where would they have, gotten wind of this?
The consultants have done agency early coordination, and there's a project website. So they could have pulled information from the project website. But I think the unfortunate thing is they don't necessarily understand the federal funding process and where the project is. There's just there's no movement on that phase of the project for a while still. So.
Jerry Jackson, wastewater.
I think all my business is on the agenda, so.
Tim Werner, water.
Thank you and good morning. First of all, I just want to announce to the public that the water department will be starting their fall flushing October 15th. That's a Sunday night. Crews will be out Sunday through Thursday night from 8 p.m. till 6 a.m. And I'll have more updates as we get closer to that about the areas we'll be in and when. I want to jump on the wagon here with the grants. So Jerry applied for, I think he's already talking about his F-150 Lightnings. We are also approved for our War Wagon on that NERC grant also. That'll be for 2025. That's good. That's our, we call it the War Wagon. That's when things are going wrong, and that's what we pull out. It's got all of our hydraulic equipment, pumping equipment, power tools on it. It's what the guys need to do to fight water main breaks and everything else. So that's huge for us. It's going to be a propane powered vehicle instead of diesel. Other than that, I Street update real quick. Curb and gutter and driveway approaches will all be done this week. Reith Riley will start paving 18th. I Street from 18th to 14th, Monday and Tuesday. They are finishing up installing the water main as we speak from 14th to 10th Street. So it's going through pressure testing right now. As soon as we're done pressure testing, we'll get in and do the back tease test. So that project is moving right along.
And thanks to our residents. But if they look at Monroe Manor, they will recognize what it means to have that finished project there. So we certainly appreciate their patience, but it'll be worth it.
It looks really nice with the new curb and gutter. I don't know if anybody's taken a peek, but it does look really nice.
I'll say too, there were some people on social media that are very critical of the project, and David Heinhold actually kind of really did a good job of explaining the whole new redesign of it, and kind of hopefully answered a lot of questions, maybe not, but I really liked his response. Very professional.
Well, just to highlight that, the project has protected parking lanes on one side, which that's also the side that has the majority of the sidewalk. So it's really about making it a safer place for students to be walking. A lot of students do walk to the high school or to Kessling from that location. And those protected parking lanes, they narrow the street, they slow vehicles down. They're not an obstacle. They're not an obstacle for public safety. But they do provide, protection of the vehicles, protection of the pedestrians, and ideally slower traffic speeds. So
But it is straight. I Street is straight.
it's very, yeah.
No chicanes.
Craig Phillips.
Horizontal shifts in traffic.
Good morning. As Nick Minnick mentioned, have been busy with kicking off the city's comprehensive plan process. We have interviews starting today for consultant selection on that. So we'll hopefully be bringing a contract to you soon for approval. And I will mention, again, I'll jump on the grant bandwagon. We did receive $150,000 of the funding necessary for that project through the federal solicitation process for projects. In addition to that, we'll be wrapping up this month, we'll be wrapping up the Trails, Greenways, and Blueways Master Plan process along with the Parks and Engineering Departments primarily and others. Also wrapping up this month the downtown streetscape pattern book and plan for the downtown streetscape going forward, and working on a variety of housing related projects, and looking forward to some additional housing opportunities as a result of that. So, and other grant opportunities that we'll be pursuing as well. The Redevelopment Commission authorized some contracts for grant writing services last night, so we'll be working on getting a couple of big grants out of the way, including the upcoming READY grant that we intend to submit for housing related purposes. So we'll be busy with that.
How is the housing going with the Tidma Bakery project?
Tidman has broken ground. If you go out there today and see, you can see the first structure is underway in terms of the 5 that are to be constructed out there. So there's definitely progress.
How many are they doing this year?
They're supposed to do 1 this year, and then they're doing another 2 next year, and then 2 after that, I think is the anticipated schedule.
I believe we've issued the building permit for the second one, so that it may get a
They may
little
break
earlier
ground on that
start.
this year.
Oh,
And-
great.
And we've started to look at the plans for the third one, so.
Fantastic.
And Annette will be sharing with all of us the opportunity to participate, maybe one day during the day of the work week, that we can all go out there and grab a nail and
Help Habitat with that project.
help Habitat. So Jess, we look forward to it.
I'll be out there.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Jess Splorchek.
Oh.
Did I get it right?
She said not even close.
Spoljaric.
Splorchek.
Yeah, yeah, but close.
It wasn't even in the ballpark.
Congratulations.
Okay, Miss Bruder.
I just want to say a quick thank you. The Sunflower Fair is kind of the end of our summer event series as we head into fall. So just want to say thanks to all the sponsors who made these events possible, as well as volunteers, as well as the visitors and residents that come out and support these. They're the reason we do this in the first place. So I hope everybody had a good summer. I know Brett has a lot up his sleeve for the fall and winter between the Santa Parade and the Civic Concert Series, so stay tuned for that. And then finally, I just want to say a thank you and farewell to Sarah. Nobody gets to see Sarah. Sarah's behind the camera. She's the woman behind the curtain who makes everything possible, but she's the one who brings the Board of Works, the City Council meetings, and I believe the Redevelopment Commission as well to people who can, watch at home or at work. So thank you, Sarah, for all your hard work.
Jess, also, and not to put you on the spot, but I believe we have a date for pickup. I forgot the date for RTS cans coming up.
Yes, we do have a date for RTS cans. I don't have it off the top of my head, but that information's actually going to get released today.
Good.
So be watching for Facebook
And it is real. I
updates.
mean, they were getting them actually picked up finally.
Yes.
What about a fall cleanup? Is there going to be a fall
Yes,
cleanup?
fall cleanup is in October,
October 16th through 22nd.
16th through 20th.
Great. Thank you, Annette.
Andrea Smith, HR.
Good morning, Board. Andrea Smith, HR Director. Very little today. Just want to remind everybody and employees and their dependents that flu shots begin Monday, October 2nd, at both the Michigan City and LaPorte Wellport. This year, we'd also like to invite any Board of Works or council members that want to get a flu shot as well. Please let me know, and I will get you on the list at whatever clinic is better for you. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Are COVID shots out yet?
Not at Wellport,
Not
but
at
yeah,
Wellport, are they?
but they are out, yes.
Department heads that don't have business before the board, go enjoy your day. Nick Otis, resolution for approval of mayor's signature.
This is actually just so the city can do the closing for the fire station building on State Street. We just need a specific authorization allowing the mayor to execute all necessary closing documents for that. We'll make sure that it's very clear in the meeting minutes going forward. This is just a request from Meridian Title so that it's clear that you have that authority, Mayor.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Request for additional trash service at 315 Brighton. Courtney Barthone.
Can take this one. I've actually got E-Man Fokianos, the office manager at Utility Billing, is not in today, but he sent a little blurb for me to present to the Board of Works. So at 315 Brighton, he said the owners of 315 Brighton have 2 utility accounts and would like to add waste management trash service billed through those accounts. These are commercial accounts and would be using the trash totes for offices at this address. E-Man says that he's confirmed with Waste Management that pickup is available at this address. The totes were provided, and as long as they're placed roadside, it's accessible for waste management trucks with arms. He said, let me see, what else is essential here? It's normal refuse, essentially what a residential customer would produce. It's $12.99 per tote per account per month. And he did speak with City Attorney Nick Otis about the allowability of this trash service. So we're asking the board to add trash service for 315 Brighton Street for both of their accounts.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Jerry Jackson.
I've got a proposed agreement with the city of LaPorte and Surf Broadband to provide a network interconnecting water and wastewater sites. There's 32 sites on the list. There's more sites, but these were ones that could economically be connected to their fiber network. Other ones were too far away to be cost effective. Most of these sites, all but 8, they're already adjacent to, so there's no cost to connect. The contract is $11,000 for the construction, one-time cost, and that's for 8 of these sites that were a little farther down the road that they have to extend fiber to. The contract is for 5 years and would automatically renew for 5 years period. It can be canceled by either party with a year's notice. This sort of thing for the water and wastewater are kind of long-term agreements. We get hardware that computers talking across them, and it takes installation, takes money to get it all working, and so the longer term, as long as it's working well, the better. I've been involved a little bit with, they did the exact same thing for Kingsbury Utilities out in Kingsbury, and it's rock solid, no complaints out there. With our current system, we have a mixture of cell-based and radio-based, and we get a lot of extraneous alarms that are, they cause problems because people say, oh, that isn't real, and you get enough extraneous alarms, you start missing real ones. This system should end that and should be very solid. It's because it's underground. When there's weather conditions, it's likely to be very reliable too. So that's a nice feature. It'd probably take us a good part of a year to implement it and get all these sites running. But it's a nice opportunity for the water and wastewater department. I'd recommend approval.
Now, will this cover, because we're also, once our IT director gets here, negotiating a kind of corporate deal, will you need other services in addition?
This covers water and wastewater sites. There are 2 more sites for water that we need to work through.
So that, that may, yeah, we'll have some more negotiations there. Having an IT person would be really helpful in implementing our connections and getting everything working. That kind of networking stuff takes the right person to get it all working.
Because right now it's me, so that tells you why I'm waiting. We should have that, I think, this next week, if I'm not, 25th? I believe the 25th, so we can start on that. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second, discussion?
When was it put into place in Kingsbury? for
Oh, it's
KUC?
been there not a year, but most of a year.
So you've been able to see the performance of it? It's not something that just happened? To see
It-
that it's working well, I guess is what I'm saying.
It works well. We had some growing pains when we've had equipment that got hit by lightning, and then calling and getting the right person to help us get it working. We've had a little growing pains with that, but I think we've resolved that. So, yeah, I think the performance out there is far superior to what I've got now with our cell and radio-based system.
And there's 8 sites?
There's 32 sites.
32 sites.
I mean, the $11,000 is extension to 8 sites that they weren't adjacent to yet.
Gotcha.
So,
Motion to approve, or I'm sorry, we have a motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye opposed, motion passes.
thank you.
Solicit bids for McClung Road.
We've got some development going in McClung Road, proposed, and some annexations proposed by the property owners are proposing it because they'd like to have city facilities.
Remember, could you repeat that? It was the landowners asking for it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Called us and said we'd like to connect and become part of the city. The sanitary part of this, the low-pressure sewer is in my budget for this year. There's a lift station in for next year that's part of this project. And then we have an extension almost up to Severs Road to cover the Dent property. So there's kind of 3 little pieces and this all go together. The low-pressure sewer would go from East Shore Parkway to Cablein. There's 12 houses there, 11 or 12, I wasn't sure when I wrote this up. It's not very many houses per foot, so to speak, so low-pressure sewer and grinder pumps is cost-effective. Also, the properties on McClung Road side, some of the non-city parcels that would like to come in the city are low. And in order to serve them, you need a pump. Well, this system will work for the low properties. The project is funded at $430,000 for the sanitary, the lift station at $450K. It's in our capital budget. I think in the schedule, because of the time of year, the schedule is probably bid this winter, spring construction is what it'd wind up.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second, and just so I'm clear, what does that leave? Because we always hear about McClung Road. We have water all the way up and down. What will this leave without sewer at this point if you do
This is the whole, well, I shouldn't say that. There's a couple parcels that are on the far north side that are off an private access road that aren't served. It's just a few parcels right before you get to Highway 39.
But for everywhere, really, from the roller rink north, this will solve, because we've heard for years, the
Yes.
city didn't do wastewater like they promised when, this will solve that.
This will solve that. Yep.
Further discussion?
Well, but then the customer has to pay for the connection, correct? To
That's
close?
customarily how it's done. The construction on their property would be the homeowner's cost. That's a judgment call. We can bid that in different ways. Usually what happens is you extend the sewer connection. In this case, it's a grinder pump, could be just a gravity pipe, extend it onto the pipe, and then they close their septic system, pump it, fill it, and connect over. That's usually how it's done. We didn't do it that way on Pine Lake because they were already served by the sewer that was out under Pine Lake. So
Okay.
it didn't seem appropriate, since they were already served, to make them bear additional costs. In this case, they don't have sewer service.
Okay.
And again, we can discuss that at a future date if there's interest in discussing that further. That's conventionally how it's done.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion passes. Pay request 4.
This is for D&M in our, the project to make the expansion improvements for Torino Pond. It takes us up to 97%. The job's pretty much done. The current payment due is $83,582.52. That's 83,582.52. D&M's done a nice job on this project. I'd recommend approval.
Make a motion to approve.
Second, discussion. Will this deal with the flooding just south of 18th Street in the residential neighborhood? Or that's not related to this project?
Oh, no, this is just the pond work. Yep.
Perfect.
Yep, this is just the pond work.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion passes 2-0. Bio Tower Pump Number 3 replacement.
We had one of our large pumps go down on our bio towers. It's a 60 horse pump, weighs 2,500 pounds. It's a big old monster. It's an Ibarra brand. We got an estimate to repair, was $11,385 to repair. The pump is 14 years old. So I also asked for the cost of replacement, $44,000 to replace. And I think I'd think about this like if you had a 14-year-old car, would you put $11,000 in it? I think that's kind of the thought process. So my recommendation here would be to replace. I got a second quote from Xylem, which is my favorite pump, and as it happens, it's more expensive. But this time, I think it's out of the box too expensive. Their quote was $57,379, so another $13,000 roughly. So I would recommend replacing the existing pump with another Ibarra for the cost of $44,475.
Make a motion to approve replacement.
Second, discussion.
What's typically the lifetime of if we're trying, if we're considering the 11 versus the 44, and that's a quarter of the cost?
Yeah.
On a
if you
14-year-old
get
pump?
20 years out of a pump, that's a pretty good lifetime in this application. It's pumping sewage, it's in a corrosive environment. I kind of struggled with this one a little bit because, you could put 11,000 in it and potentially get quite a few years out of it, but it's a gamble.
Right.
Yeah.
But if it starts to nickel and dime you, I get it.
The big gamble on, it's a 14-year-old motor, and if you burn the motor up because the windings fail, which happens, then your motor rewind or new motor plus this 11,000 to change bearing seals and everything. So I think I fall on the side of replace this time.
So we did approve that.
We did.
Okay.
Is that it?
We just need a vote.
Oh, all in favor? No, we did vote.
No, we didn't.
You
We did
made
a motion.
and a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion passes.
I've got 2 industrial wastewater discharge permits for renewal, Alpha Baking and American Licorice Company. Both are in good standing, both do good work, and they treat their wastewater well. They communicate with us. I don't know if we want to do them one at a time, but I'd recommend approval for both Alpha Baking
Let's do both together if we
and
can.
American Licorice wastewater discharge permits.
Motion to approve both.
So moved.
Second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion passes.
Then the last thing I have, sorry for so many things today, the last thing I have is a backup grant for 807 Adams. The quote from H&G to do the work was $4,685. The city's share, the first 1,000 plus 75% would be $3,763.75. I recommend approval.
Make a motion to approve.
Second, discussion.
How much more do we have left in this because we have a certain number of dollars set aside for this. Is that
Yeah, and
correct?
I should look. We had a number of them in the spring, then it kind of fell off all summer. I don't have the number, but I'll
We
take a
can
look.
get that, yeah, we'll get
Okay.
that after the meeting.
Thanks.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chief Snyder.
Thank you, Mayor. I have submitted a copy of a lease and service agreement from Safe Haven Baby Boxes to the board for consideration. If you'll remember, I believe back in July, I had informed and the board had approved us accepting a grant from Indiana Homeland Security to install one of these boxes in our Station 2. So this is the next step in the process, is to enter into this lease agreement with the company of Safe Haven Baby Boxes so that we can obtain the box and then look forward to construction. You notice that the contract calls for an $11,000 or a $12,000 option. We're recommending the $11,000 option. The only difference between that and the $12,000 is that a camera is installed in the box for the extra $1,000. We don't feel that that's necessary, being that we will be on site 24/7 usually. I have submitted it to Attorney Otis. He's looked it over. He's comfortable with the wording and the agreement, and so I'm asking for your approval so we can move forward. As I mentioned, that Indiana Homeland Security grant was $10,000. This is $11,000. We did expect that we would have some minimal payment due from the department, but well worth it to get this in place for an option for a parent to surrender an infant that they're not able to care for.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Discussion. It's a
How-
great thing.
It's definitely, and how many will there be within the city limits now?
That, within the city limits, this will be the first one.
The very first one?
Within
okay.
LaPorte County, it'll be the third one. Cool Spring Township Fire Department on 400 and by Johnson Road has one, and then Franciscan Hospital in Michigan City has one.
Does this then get promoted like throughout the city limits that,
Yes.
I guess I'm thinking of the high school and teen pregnancies and.
Yeah, we'll
that
promote
type
it,
of-
and we'll promote it with Safe Haven Baby Boxes. They do a good job of getting the word out in the community. Some of the billboards that you've seen, I know that I still continue to see one in Westville with a firefighter on there, and it doesn't directly say it, but it tells parents you can surrender without penalty. So that's their advertisements that are out there, and definitely we'll work with Jess to make sure that the word gets out.
And remind me, which one is Station 2?
Station 2 is on East Shore Parkway
Okay.
off of Pine Lake Avenue.
Okay.
Andy, why did, we talked about this, why was that station picked?
That they tend to gravitate towards where there's highways, and it's very
Easy on and off.
remote, so that someone can get in without being noticed and attention drawn to them. There are no cameras at that station on that side of the building or anything, so again, it gives a very private situation for a parent to surrender the child.
But it's heated and everything,
It
I
is,
think,
yeah, it's
correct? Or
climate
cooled,
controlled.
or Temperature,
Yeah.
that's a better word.
Climate controlled, yes.
Yeah.
In the winter, it's heated, in the summer, it's cooled. And it's monitored 24/7 by a alerting system. If by chance we were out of the station and the audible alarm goes off, it would be directly sent to the 911 center. If we were not able to answer, obviously EMS or police would be dispatched immediately there to cover us for it.
And what age are the children that are being surrendered? Up to what age?
It's good, I don't have that answer. I know it's mostly infants within the first few days of birth is what they are accustomed to.
Okay.
Trying to figure out if your kids are naughty, if they're gonna take them to
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion passes.
Thank you.
Great thing, Andy. Nick Minnick.
The 2022 street paving pay app, I got a little more work to do on this one. I think we can just close it out at the next meeting, because that includes Darlington Street. So if we can just pass that one on to the next meeting. I do have the closeout for 18th Street Greenway. This is pay application number 3. We've just kind of been working with the contractor and everything's good, so Final payment is in the amount of $40,679.35. I'd recommend approval.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second, and again, this is the 18th Street.
The Greenway project,
Greenway.
yeah. It was completed last year, but we just had some things to close out
I
on.
wondered about that because it says May of '22.
Yeah.
So this was more like a punch list that they were finishing out until now or something?
Yeah,
to
and
that?
it had kind of gotten tied to a couple other projects, and it was complicated closeout, but it's all good now.
Okay, we're happy.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
Further discussion? I think, and by the way, residents are happy, kids are happy, and a lot of people, bikers are happy. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Unfinished business, we do have Craig Phillips, Lake Street, bid opening.
Yes, so we do have a bid opening for what was formerly known as 1400 Lake Street, property owned by the city.
And Morris Park.
And sorry?
It's
Morris.
also named Morris Park.
Also named Morris Park.
Marsha Morris.
So we have, I believe we received at least one bid for that property. We did advertise properly for the opening at this meeting.
I have proof of publication. This was published in the Herald Dispatch on September 1st, 2023, and September 8th, 2023, for the bid opening today. We did receive one bid from Mobile PTO, and I'll hand it off to Craig once I open it.
Everyone, thank you to the street department for beginning to clean up on that property.
So we did receive one bid. The bidder is Terry Vidito, Mobile PTO. The bid amount for this is $20,000. I do not believe this meets the minimum bid required for this bid offer, so I would request that we take this under advisement and come back to the board at the next meeting, review this, but yes, so that's the one bid we have received.
Motion to approve, taking it back.
So moved.
Second, discussion. What was the minimum bid?
40,500, I believe. I just know it's less than the minimum bid, so.
Further discussion?
Let me verify that for you real quick. It is, I'm sorry, $45,250. I'm thinking of another bid.
So this allows you now to negotiate if anybody's interested in that property for less than the minimum?
Yeah, our first step would be, I believe, since this does not meet the minimum bid, to reject bids. So I don't know, Nick, would we want to do that today? Or since it doesn't meet the minimum bid, can we go ahead and reject the bids, or do we?
Correct, yep, you can reject it, yep.
Okay, all right, so I guess since that, yeah, so that 45,250 is the minimum bid, the bid received is 20,000, it doesn't meet the minimum bid, so I guess I would request that the board reject the bid that we received.
So would you like to amend your motion?
Do I amend it, or do I take back the other motion and form a new motion?
I would just do an
Rescind?
amended motion.
Okay, so I'm going to amend my motion to reject the single bid that was offered for 20,000.
And I will second that. And discussion, this has been an eyesore, and Water Department, I think, is excited as many people to see something develop there across the street finally. So, further questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Also, just as a reminder, RTS, September 23rd, this Saturday, put out your RTS trash can empty, and they will be picked up. Put it at the end of the driveway, and there'll be a press release coming out today on it, but make sure you put out your trash can this Saturday, and let's get those out of the city limits as quick as possible. Also, just to confirm, the fall cleanup is October 16th through the 20th
On your normal garbage day?
on your normal garbage day. And do we have to wrap?
The rules are on the website.
Rules are on the website, so. And then thank you to Brett Benversi and the team of volunteers that made this sunflower a phenomenal Saturday on the weekend, and
Great weather,
it was perfect weather.
packed.
It was packed, and also the Friday night event as well. So a lot to do in the city of LaPorte, and Lover Boy this Friday. Rumor is Chief Breton was wearing hot red leather pants yesterday. He's an 80s guy, so he's getting excited for Lover Boy. With that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Have a great day.